Thanks for joining me for this Met Office 10-day trend. You've probably noticed the weather patterns have shifted. Much more wet and windy weather sweeping across the country at time of recording, and that is set to last for the next several days. Plenty of heavy showers, very windy conditions, and a chill in that wind also. However, next week, the weather patterns look like shifting back again. High pressure returning and much drier weather will return across the UK, and the winds will ease down as well. The big question mark about next week, will milder Atlantic weather return, or will we tap into something a little colder from further east? More on that in a moment. Let's deal though with the very unsettled weather at the moment. Large area of low pressure, a tangle of weather fronts, a whole host of isobars. Going to get very windy on Wednesday night and through Thursday. And well, we don't see a great deal of change through Friday and Saturday. Low pressure weather fronts, lots of isobars, very unsettled weather spells of wet and windy weather, bouts of showers zipping across the UK. Why that change? Well, it is of course to do with our old friend high up in the atmosphere, the jet stream. Let's rewind and again, at time of recording, the jet stream pretty powerful and bisecting the UK. And over the next few days, it remains in charge. It remains pretty active and drives these weather fronts across the UK. All the while the UK on the cold side, the northern side of the jet stream, which is why it really will feel quite chilly when the wind is blowing. And it will be blowing pretty strong, especially on Thursday. We do have a Met Office yellow warning in place. I'm not going to go through the details of the bands of showers over the next few days. For more on that, so you can visit the website or download our app, in fact, and then you can track the showers day by day on the radar feature there, and there will be that chilly feel as well. We will start to see some changes though as we go through the weekend. Notice down to the southwest there's an area of high pressure, and that is slowly creeping northwards. There will be some rain on this weather fronts across the country on Sunday. Big question mark early next week about how much progress this weather front makes. It will bring some rain, most likely in the west, with other areas looking a little drier. But the computer model's in some disagreement about how far this weather front comes in. But after that, it looks like high pressure will steadily move further northwards. The exact shape and position of that high will be key to dictate the exact flavour of the weather next week. And for the reasons behind that, we need to take a look at what's going on across the other side of the Atlantic this weekend. Cold, cold air, the purple colours there, driving south across eastern Canada, clashing with relatively warm air further south, and this huge temperature contrast will pep up the jet just to the east of North America. This generating what we call a major trough, this big kink in the jet stream, which then energizes an area of low pressure. And this all acts a bit like a skipping rope, giving the jet stream a bit of a flick. And that then develops downstream into what we call a more amplified weather pattern. The jet stream drives south, but then also pushes to the north, in fact, way to the north of the UK. So instead of the jet stream angling straight in off the Atlantic, it is now pushing to the north and allowing this area of high pressure to then drift northwards as we go through next week. As I said, calming the weather down. However, one more thing to note, the jet stream isn't actually too far away, and the cold air also isn't too far away, and that will be crucial as to just the exact feel of the weather into next week. But we are pretty confident that high pressure will be the dominant feature through the, next week. This is the pressure trend chart. Again, going back in time here with previous computer model runs. This is the European model, and then ahead in time across the top. Blue is low pressure, certainly dominant at the moment, but a strong signal there that through the early part of next week, we are going to see that change to high pressure. Now, high pressure usually means dry weather, but particularly at this time of year, the exact wind direction will be crucial to the feel. Let's take a look at some scenarios. This is the most likely scenario, with the high pressure just ambling up from the southwest, sitting somewhere across Ireland, and with the winds going around the high pressure like that, that cold air sitting to the east, well, we could just tap into that across parts of the east. Meanwhile, much of the western side of the UK may well stay fairly mild. This is the most likely scenario. However, it wouldn't take much with all that going on across North America and that amplification of the jet, for the high pressure just to be a little bit further east. And in this scenario, which some of the computer models are suggesting, then we don't really tap into that easterly at all, and it stays on the mild side for most of the UK. However, some of the computer models are suggesting that the high pressure could be a little further north. And in this scenario, well then again, with the winds toppling around like that, we would then tap into more of that colder air. So that's the big question mark about next week, the feel of the weather. But generally speaking, we know that it's going to be an awful lot drier than the rest of this week and also less blustery. Just that question mark about the temperatures. For the day-to-day detail, as I said at the start, and for the latest on the weather warnings, make sure you've got the Met Office app and you're following us on social media.